welcome back to What's on D's TV, my commentary podcast on music, movies, and shows that I love, that I watch, that I enjoy. My name is Dee. Housekeeping rules are as they usually are. We can disagree, you don't got to be rude about it, but feel free to put any thoughts, comments, concerns into the comments below. And yeah, we'll read some. We'll read some of what y'all comment. I think that's really it for housekeeping rules. I want to say this is gonna be a heavily spoiled episode. Hold on, let me say that again. This is gonna be a heavily spoilery episode. Heavy spoilery y'all get it. Y'all know. It's gonna be that. Because we're talking about a movie that is still currently in theaters. So just, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't listen. What we're talking about is in the title, but I'm gonna say it as well. I have a guest today. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, it's Mo. You already know. Bars.
Anyway, Mo is my sister. And the movie we're going to be talking about today is M3GAN 2.0.
2.0?
Yes.
It's wonderful.
We were gagged. We got our lives. What? I said we were gagged. We got our lives. It was everything that I wanted. Well, almost. And I will say, I feel very vindicated because if you go back and listen to the first podcast, the podcast that we did on the first M3GAN, a lot of the stuff that I say in that I think is going to happen is what happened. I feel very vindicated. We gonna get into that. Anything you want to tell the peoples? Is you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Do you have? So today I'm gonna let Mo, because this is her last episode with me for now. I'm gonna let her do the random question of the day. Do you have that ready?
I'll think about it. It's been a crazy week.
It's gonna be the first time me hearing it, so I'm nervous. I'm just hoping that it's not nothing. We shall see. Anyway, so we're gonna get into it. We're gonna start now. Again, heavy spoilers. A lot of spoilers for the whole movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's good. I saw it multiple times. It was great. And I will be getting it on digital. Okay. So it opens up with the FBI agent. I don't know. I couldn't stand that man. I did not catch his name. He was annoying. The chewing gum.
Oh, that one.
I just call him the chewing gum FBI agent.
Makes sense.
Ugh. Talking about a new quote unquote stealth weapon. Because of course they are. And by that they mean this M3GAN 3000 esque creation. It was based on M3GAN's prototype, but it's gonna sorry, I had to move Yoshi Snacks. It is going to be it's a M3GAN prototype, but they're gonna use it for, as they do, war. So they were showing all the other agents and everything what this prototype can do. The prototype's name is Amelia, and she is very creepy looking. So when we see her after they, shoot her or whatever, they bring her into the, I don't want to say dungeon, but it looked a little dungeony. And she gets up, but the way she gets up, she contorts her body so that she does a backflip. She breaks the handcuffs and then stands up, and she has a bag over her face, or a sack, so we can't see. But I thought that was really cool.
At the beginning of this, guys, I thought we was in the wrong movie.
Yes. when he was
confused.
When he was talking about everything and how they were going to use her, because the way it opens up, I could get it. I understand. But she was like, "Are we in the right showing? Are we in the right theater?" I was like, "Yes." But yes, I get it. I get it. What happened? Yeah, so she did a back, I don't know what it's called. She did some kind of gymnastics fighting thing, and she like kicked off her handcuffs, and then she took off the bag, right? Oh, but before that, I was like, she looks so creepy. She's creepy looking. The backflip thing she did was cool. And then we saw it cut to a guy cooking, a chef cooking. These are bad guys. It said somewhere near the, what was it, Iranian border?
I was gonna say Turkey.
Turkish Iranian border, something like that. So, this guy is cooking for, I guess, the agents that are there, and his back is turned to her, and you just see her falling down the pipe. The way there something did that, and I just can't remember what it was. But the way she crawled down the pipe was creepy. And then, of course, he turns around, he's looking at her, and she snaps his neck. Oh no, she didn't. She punched his head off.
Bro. Oh yeah, because we saw the shadow of the head.
Yes. Which they do that a lot. They don't like show us the stuff happening.
I mean, are you complaining?
Yes. Hey. Because they didn't learn that from the first movie. Anyway. So I fully expect them to put an unrated version out in the theaters or whatever. Fine, I'll watch it. You got me. But yeah, she punched his head off, and the next thing I wrote was like badass. And then, to me, in my opinion, speaking for myself and myself only, don't come for me. To me, I'm not speaking for nobody else.
Okay.
The actress who plays Amelia looks like Elizabeth Olsen.
She does. She
like. She do. We'll get her
related. To be honest.
Listen, when she first popped up, I was like, I have to look who's in this movie, because again, y'all don't know. This is our second attempt at recording this. So, I have been off of social media for 3 weeks. I have not paid attention to anything pertaining to this movie or anything like that. I usually watch like interviews and fan reactions and all that stuff. I haven't done any of that. I wanted to go into this movie completely clean slate and not have like people in my ear,
Yeah.
Because when people in your stuff is good when people ain't in your ear talking about how crappy it is, you feel me? And I feel like people was with the first movie, they was like, because even I was like, this is gonna be shit, this is gonna be trash. And I've been hyped for this movie since they announced it. So I was not letting nobody ruin that for me. So I still don't know how the movie was received. I'm just telling y'all my thoughts. We telling y'all our thoughts. So I was like, after we watch this, I'm gonna have to look up who's in this movie, because I didn't know Elizabeth Olsen was in this. Like, I didn't hear nothing about that.
Where'd she come from?
Exactly. So yeah, I said she looks like Elizabeth Olsen. And then the next thing they show is the FBI agent dude talking, and I was like, oh, I mixed it up. Fuck. Okay, hold on. So, when it opens up with her in the Turkish-Iranian border with them, and you're like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And then that stuff happens. And then it cuts to the FBI telling us everything about this weapon that they've procured.
Yeah. Okay.
The weapon being Amelia. So this is where we see the annoying FBI agent chewing gum dude. The whole movie, he's chewing gum so fucking weird, and it got on my nerve real bad. And then so after that, she goes rogue, quote unquote, does something that is not what they told her to do. She kills the person who was supposed to be having all the formulas and everything like that. I don't fucking know what he did. But she killed somebody she wasn't supposed to kill. And then the next thing we see is Katie explaining how everything has gone since the events of M3GAN 1, and she's talking to the lady who was the therapist in the first movie. I don't know how that lady still got a job. She was a terrible fucking therapist in the first movie. I don't know how she's still employed, but you know, failing up or whatever. So she's still a therapist for some reason. And so Katie was telling us what's been going on since the events of M3GAN. I think it's been 2 years.
I think so.
So, yes.
But when I first saw, excuse you, don't interrupt.
Shut up.
When I first saw Katie, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they ever did a live action Incredibles, she looks like Violet to me. So I feel like she would be good.
Because of the bangs?
The head shape. And like the eyes. She has big eyes.
Well, you heard it here first. Since y'all taking ideas and stuff because y'all made a whole movie on my ideas, I'm taking credit for it. Yes, I am. If y'all make live action Incredibles, you got your Violet. Well, they would have to make that pretty soon because if she's
you're right.
Well, also I don't know when this was filmed, so
dang,
y'all might have missed y'all chance, Disney. Well, look at you.
I mean, they've done that plenty.
Give us, again, I haven't been on social media, so I don't know if anything's been announced, but I'm just going off the thought that nothing's been announced. Disney, give us a season fucking 2 of Agatha All Along or a prequel immediately. This is ridiculous. It's been forever.
Bro, different
again, if y'all have, I take that back, but if y'all haven't, what the fuck y'all waiting for? Do it.
Focus.
Anyway, yeah, the bitch is still a therapist, whatever. And then I said, it showed Gemma. Of course, she gonna get a bag,
get that money
to write. She wrote a book, and it was called, what was it? I wrote it down. Modern Moderation. I hate that. Who fucking? She's full of shit. She don't know. Oh, Gemma got on my nerve real bad this movie too, y'all. Oh, but we still not gonna kill her. We can't bury her gay. Even though she don't know yet, but she is. And then, okay, so when Katie was talking, maybe it's just me, did you feel like this? When Katie was talking and explaining everything that happened, it felt like she was doing an ad. Like, you know when she did the ad for M3GAN in the first movie?
Mm-hmm.
When she talked about, oh, my parents died and I had M3GAN to take care of me and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like she was still doing that when she was explaining everything that was happening. I feel like it's on purpose though.
So it was what's the word?
It just felt fake, but like,
what's that word though?
But here's the thing, they weren't making an ad. So it's like you're just talking to the therapist. Why are you has she been
probably trying to sell her that everything is
cool?
Yeah.
But the lady said it's not court mandated. So she don't have to. I don't know.
Okay. But like, you know, she could have said that's not court.
She was like, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna take it away from your aunt."
Cause you know, nurses be doing like, you know, counselors be doing that. Like they'll say, "Oh, don't worry, I'm not gonna tell nobody," and next thing you know, you in the psych ward.
That's crazy. They ain't no HIPAA or no. That's a HIPAA violation, though.
I don't know.
If your therapist just telling everybody business.
Listen, that's what that was like. Oh, maybe that's what she thought it would have been like.
Okay, Katie. My baby girl. Isn't she like 11? I don't know.
What. I'm just saying.
Allegedly. I mean, I think she said she's 11. You're 11 and I don't. Okay. My bad, Katie. All right. Never mind then. But yeah, it just still sounded like she was making an ad. And then they show this fucking Christian dude. I don't care how he pronounces his name. It's Christian. Fuck him. Also, again, I'm an SNL girl. Was an SNL girl. So I know he's from SNL. And he was funny in SNL. But this character, the minute I saw him, I was like, didn't I tell you? The minute they can't hear you shake your head, yes.
Oh, girl.
The minute he popped up on the screen, I was like, I don't trust this man. And then tell them what made you mad about me telling you. Oh, wait. Well, it'll give it away, though, I feel like, if you say it right now.
So then I'll wait till...
Okay. I didn't trust that man. Again, feel very, very vindicated. And yeah, I was like, again with Katie, I was like, is she supposed to sound like that or what? When she was when she, I don't know, like when people talk to her, it just sounds like either she sounds really, really detached.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's the way I was over.
Yes, like it's put in her mind. This is my response to this.
Yes,
that, and the third. It might just be me. I don't know. And then yeah, I said modern moderation. What a stupid name for a book.
Oh
And then they showed Tess and Cole trying out this new exoskeleton contraption, and I was like, Tess, why are you still here with these folks, girl? Take your black ass home. I think she's black.
I don't know what she is.
Take your non-white looking ass home, please. There's not many of us in here. Just, I don't want you to die. Did she listen to me?
Does anybody really?
No. And then I said, Cole's an idiot. Because he was talking about I have to use the bathroom. Both. I was like, shut up. I don't like Cole either. I didn't like him in the first movie. I thought he was a moron. So there's that. And then I was saying, it's so funny how Gemma is so anti-technology, which obviously after what happened with M3GAN, I get it.
Scar,
but
traumatized.
Whatever. But she's anti-technology while still using an assload of technology. So it's like,
what's that word?
Contradicting.
Yes.
Because it's like you telling people exactly, and hypocritical. Modern moderation, limit this, limit that, but you're still using an assload of technology. So,
make it make sense, girl.
It don't. And then, when I saw the little contraption that they was building, I was like, they're definitely gonna use that for war. The the exoskeleton.
Honestly, that's kind of cool.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
That's not. No, it wouldn't. We don't need more war. Well, Gemma's mind was, I'm sorry, y'all. This episode might be all over the place. Gemma's mind was thinking, oh, this is how we can help humans be competitive in a world with robots. So it could help humans. But of course, the government's just going to look at it as a way of using them for war.
Yeah.
Like, so this is when they introduce Alton, the billionaire, in a wheelchair. That cringy as fuck. But he was like, yeah, they gonna use this for war. And I said, I agree that. And then I was like, I hate this man too. And then I said, his name is Alton. Are they trying to think of a certain musty person?
Elton John? Oh.
Elton John? Who's that?
He's a singer.
Elton John? Oh! Anyway, yes, I said, what if... I said, yes, I hate this man. And then when he was talking about Jim was way too smart to be working out of a converted crack house. And I said, converted crack house is crazy. That, where they were working looked really nice. What is he talking about? That was crazy.
It looks so spacious, though.
And then we see Gemma, and he's doing his back and forth with Gemma. And all I was thinking was, Gemma looked gay as hell in this outfit. And her little long sleeve shirt and her little little vest, sweater vest, and these corduroy pants. I was like, is that what they're called? Corduroy? I think that's what that texture is. I was like, girl, with the front of her shirt's tucked into her pants, showing off her belt buckle. I was like,
listen, you gotta keep it classy, keep it professional.
Gay as hell.
Okay.
Anyway, and then, no, he gagged her. Alden gagged her when he was like, at least I didn't use my own niece as a guinea pig.
I mean,
I was like, oh, he got you, girl. Alden is this, like, super billionaire, smart, quote unquote, dude who made the neurochip that can go attach to your body and make you human. superhuman things.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like familiar. Sounds like it sounds real familiar. But yeah, I was like, he got you there.
Mm.
And didn't I say, I was like, why is she using her niece as, like, why are you testing stuff in your house?
Yeah.
I said that about Glass Onion too. I don't know why people do that. But no, I was like, he gagged you there. And then she was like, when Gemma was like telling Alton, she was like, put in AI in your brain, in somebody's brain is not smart. It's not going to be a backseat driver. And I was like, yeah, that sounds terrifying as fuck. If something is all being, quote unquote, all knowing, and it's in your head, you think it's going to listen to you?
I mean,
if I know everything in the world and somebody put me in your head, you think I'm going to listen to you?
Hey, listen, give me a break.
That's not the point.
Oh.
It's still there. This is bad. We don't. Hold on, y'all. Look, cover your ears. This is bad. We don't like this.
Okay, we're against it.
War bad.
Oh,
okay.
Scary.
Put in AI chips in people's brain. Bad. We don't like that. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all can listen again. So, yeah, put in AI chips in people's brain. That sounds terrifying as fuck. Also,
but it gives me a break.
So we just did that whole bit for no fucking reason. You get on my nerve. Anyway, no.
Oh, I know it's bad. I have it.
But that does exist though. It's called Neuralink by the.
I've heard that.
Yeah. The same dude who makes them ugly ass fucking trucks.
Cybertrucks. I finally saw how one opens. It's so cool.
No, it's not. It's bad. Monasia.
Like, no, like how it opens is cool because it's like, you know, those Lamborghinis, how it's like opens like that. They couldn't do it.
I'm not talking to you about Cybertruck. It don't matter. Moving on.
Okay.
Then they showed us the house that Katie and Gemma have been living in, and it looks so fucking cool. Again, I like architecture, and that is right up my alley. I like modern industrial architecture. Or modern contemporary industrial type architecture, and that's very much what it is. Exposed pipes and brick technology in it. I like technology. I'm not anti-technology. I like technology. I'm terrified of some of the shit that people will do with it inevitably. So that's my opinion on technology. Since this is a technology movie, what's your opinion? Do you like technology? Are you like,
I like technology. I would definitely want to learn more about it.
I'm just, excuse me. See, my body's like, here, girl. I'm just nervous about what people will use it for.
Yes.
But no, yeah. So I said this house is gorgeous. And I said, no, I still don't trust this man because they showed Gemma and Christian talking. And I still don't trust that man. I don't give a fuck. And then they showed Elsie because Katie was trying to mess with her algorithm or her what the fuck's it called? Her feedback. Not feedback. Her code. Jesus. Katie was trying to mess with her code, trying to fix it or whatever. And Gemma was like, I don't need Elsie to open a drawer for me. And then Elsie was like, no problem, Gemma, and opened the drawer for her. I thought that was funny. And then, so whatever the fuck Gemma and Christian call themselves doing, it's supposed to be flirting, I guess. Now listen, I don't know much about
flirting?
I don't know much about straight folks and how opposite genders flirt with each other, but if that's it,
that's not it.
I am for sure.
I mean, listen, we don't kink shame.
Is that a kink?
It could be.
And bad flirting?
Anything can be a kink, to be honest.
Bad flirting can be a kink.
Yes.
You straight folks are interesting. Even though, anyway. So yeah, that was interesting, and I'm happy that Katie interrupted it by going to fill up her big cup with the ice, and that's all you heard. I was like, thank you, because I didn't want to hear that. And then he started talking about M3GAN, talking about how she didn't really love Katie or care about Katie. She was just code doing what she was programmed to do. I was like, don't talk about M3GAN.
Like, you don't know her.
You have no authority. You have no right. Mind your business. And I was like, don't talk about M3GAN, you douche. Did I say Katie or M3GAN?
I believe you said Katie.
Don't talk about M3GAN or Katie. You don't know Katie either, but don't talk about M3GAN. And then I was like, Katie really is her aunt. Really is like her aunt tech-wise, because we go to the scene where Katie is just thinking about everything that happened with M3GAN, and you see her pull up her
the family photo,
the picture frame, with her parents and herself, and then she has the secret compartment where it shows different AI code and let me speak to AI and all that stuff. And I was like, oh. And then she was trying to understand. She was trying to see if her AI partner that she talks to or whatever could understand morality and all that stuff. And it was like, does not compute. Don't know what that means. All that stuff. So I get it. I feel for Katie. She looks so sad most of this movie. And I feel for her. And it's like, yes, she did lose her parents. And yes, she got her aunt back, kind of, sort of. But it seemed like she went from one extreme to another. If that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like, Gemma from the first movie was an example of one extreme with all the technology and I don't care about kids and all that, like running to just worry about her work and just focus on that, to the other extreme where I gotta protect Katie. Nothing, she can't see anything bad, nothing terrible. She can't know what's going on at all. I gotta treat her like this precious little thing and protect her from the world. So she went from one extreme to another. No middle ground. She just hard switch.
I got my question. I'm excited.
Oh gosh. And then so we showed Gemma being worried about everything, laying in bed, and then you see all this technology turn on. First it's like the radio and then the projector and all that turn on. It's like, hey, you're in danger. Don't turn off that TV screen. You're in danger. Listen. And then you hear it sounds like somebody's breaking into her house. And then I was like, not folks breaking into her house and her tech trying to give her warning signs.
Bro, love that.
Love that. Because I would run. And then, so after all that happens, she decides to call the cops. She goes, 911, what's your emergency? And she's like, oh, people are breaking into my house. And you just hear the man goes, so what are you going to do about it? And she was like, what? And then all of a sudden, it transitions from a man's voice to M3GAN's voice. Or he was like, stop being a little girl. And then it's M3GAN talking. And she's like, Katie's upstairs. Go protect her. I was like, M3GAN's back. I was so excited. And then she takes Katie and they go upstairs and hide under Katie's bed, which is a Murphy bed, which I thought is hilarious. It's a Murphy bed.
What's that?
The bed that lifts up into the wall.
Oh,
that's what I want. Anyway, in my tiny home, cause it saves space.
You can keep that.
Whatever. You don't gotta worry about.
I'll take my air mattress.
I'm not doing this air mattress shit with you. Anyway, so they're hiding under her Murphy bed. Then the agent comes, stands on the bed to try and find where they're hiding. He gets flipped up into the Murphy bed, and they're under it, and she picks up the phone and she's like talking to the cops, and the guy who is flipped into the Murphy bed was like, hey, don't call the cops. We are the cops, and flipped his badge out and showed her. And I was like, of course it's the fucking FBI. Why y'all gotta be so extra? Like, can't you just not?
Like, why is that?
Why do you need to break into? I mean, I get it because they feel like she's hiding something, but that's overkill. Yeah. Especially when she got a child in the house. That's a lot. They did a lot. And then so you see you see all the technology trying to help. Of course, it's M3GAN, but she's using all the technology to help, get them escape. And the dude trips on the ice, and I was like, that Disney ass fall, because he like tripped and fell on the counter, and then on the island, and then fell on the floor. Ow! I was like, that Disney ass fall. And then I was like, the FBI agent getting trapped in the Murphy bed is hilarious. And then you see fucking gum chewer cop pop out.
He chews his gum.
I don't know. He got on my nerve though. Ugh.
It made me want gum though, not gonna lie.
No, it didn't. Not me. I was just like, can you please? And then, of course, M3GAN Gemma and Katie are sitting at the table with the FBI agent and the people who broke into her house. And she tells Katie to go to bed, and Katie's like, I'm not tired. And she's like, then take a melatonin. I was like,
I low-key want to try melatonin, but I probably do it when I don't have work the next day, because I don't know the effects of it. Like, I know it's supposed to make you tired, but like,
it didn't make me tired. It just makes me like, when I wake up, I feel like I haven't slept. I'm just like, what the fuck's the point? I'm tired on my own.
You got more?
It just makes me extra. No, I think Mom does though.
She does.
And then I said, why is he chewing the damn gum like that? And then might be something so like minuscule to others, but to me it was so annoying. Like, it got on my nerve real bad. And then I said, I bet it was Kurt, because he was like, oh, who did you sell this information to? Was it China? Was it Russia? I was like, yo, she ain't sell it. I bet you it was Kurt before M3GAN killed him. Always fucking Kurt. Anyway. And then I said, I fucking love the brick in this house. The brick was so nice. And I'm happy that they didn't paint over it, because people like to paint over brick and it looks so
choppy.
And then so he was telling, the FBI agent was telling Gemma, he's like, listen, if you're hiding something, I'm gonna find it. And then he was walking out. He almost hit his face on that wall.
He did.
Like, you saw him, right? He was like, oh, I didn't know that wall was right there. I don't know if that was like, if that was supposed to happen, or if that was a mistake and they just kept it in. But he definitely almost hit his face on that wall. And then we see M3GAN pop up on the brick wall. She's like, wow, that was intense. And I was like, M3GAN, you're back. I love you. And she was explaining what she's been doing over the years and how they need her to help with Amelia and all that stuff. And M3GAN's like, why would I do that? Why would I help you after you tried to kill me and for the people or whatever? And she was like, well, I was upset. And I was like, exactly. She was upset. That's perfectly reasonable.
To try to kill somebody?
Yeah. It don't say it like that. You have to put it in context.
Or what?
If you said my mission is to kill all these people, destroy all these people who cause her danger and harm, and I see that you're one of them, what you think I'm gonna do?
Okay, that's fair.
Like, I don't blame M3GAN at all for any of the stuff she does. She was doing what she was programmed to do, and that's just that on that. So yeah, I get her. She was upset. It is weird because she's a robot and she shouldn't have feelings, and I acknowledge that, but I'm fine with it for M3GAN. In real life, no, but for M3GAN, I'm fine with it. And then I was like, even after all that, she's still looking out for Katie, because Gemma was like, why would you help us after everything we've done for you? And she was like, I'm like, y'all, I don't have a choice. I was given a mission. And she shows a picture of Katie. And she's like, now my question is, are you going to stand in my way? And I was like, yeah, Gemma, you better not. Your gay ass from last time. Listen. And then we see Gemma is deciding that, yes, she's going to give M3GAN another chance, but she's going to do it her way. And we see her explaining that to Tess. And I'm like, Tess, you in danger, girl. You in danger. And then, so we see her version of giving M3GAN another trial was to put her in a Elsie doll or Moxie doll, a Moxie doll. It's like this little blue robot that it kind of does look like a Teletubby.
It was so cute.
No, it's like this little. If you ever seen Miley's episode of Black Mirror, the little purple robot that she was in, that's what it looked like. And when Megan noticed, because she's thinking she gonna get her full body back and everything like that, she sees what she in. She's like, "What the fuck is this?"
The girl be grateful.
No, the way she said it though, I was like, "That's top tier line delivery." She's like, "What the fuck is this?" I love it. I love it. And then it was so funny after Gemma told her that all of Moxie's like Bluetooth capabilities have been disabled, so she can't transfer into anything else, and she still turned around and tried to transfer to the wall. She was like, "Fine, we'll do it your way." I thought that was funny. And then so Megan was explaining to Gemma the plan to get her near Alton because his company owns the batteries that are in what's her name, that are in Amelia, I think that's what it was, and that Alton basically owns every fucking thing, but Megan wanted to get the files and figure out how to shut everything down, how to like make a kill switch and whatnot, or get her hands on the kill switch so he doesn't have control of it, and Amelia doesn't get it. So Megan was telling Gemma that she would have to go to his party and flirt with him and all that in order to get all the details. And she was like, "You're moderately attractive, so you can go to." I was like, "Moderately attractive is crazy." She's like, "So you can go to his party and flirt with him and get everything we need." I was like, "Wow, okay." Megan dissed her, and then right after Gemma came downstairs, all dressed up in the makeup and the sparkly dress, and you see her holding Moxie, and Katie comes in, and she's like, "Where are you going? Are we going to talk about what happened yesterday?" Because her aunt still haven't spoken to her about the FBI agents coming into their house. So she was like, "You're the one leaving to go to a party with a robot to look like," and what she said, "You're the one leaving, going to a party looking like a Portuguese prostitute." I was like, first of all, Megan called her moderately attractive, and now her niece called her a Portuguese prostitute within the span of like a minute. I was like, they getting on Gemma, and I love it.
They tag teamed.
And then they showed Amelia getting ready for the party, putting on makeup and the wig and everything like that. And I was like, close enough. Welcome back, Scarlet Witch. Because that's what she looked like.
Yeah.
If they had put her in red hair, I would have lost my mind. I'd have been like, you can't tell me that's not Elizabeth Olsen. I won't believe you. And then, so, excuse me, we get to the party, and Megan is talking to Gemma about her attraction, quote unquote, to Christian, and she was like, "He's not even your type, physically speaking." I was like, "Thank you, Megan," because she's obviously a lesbian. We know, we get it. She's obviously queer in some way, shape, or form. I don't buy this. There's no world that I buy Gemma being attracted to Christian. I'm sorry, I just don't. So maybe his mind, the way his mind works, but not him as a person. I'm sorry.
Her body.
No, get out of here. And I want to know what she found, because she said she was looking at. She was like, "Were you?" Jim was like, "Were you?" And Megan was like, watching your sexual discovery. Yes. She's like, "I wanted to look away, but the pageantry of it." And I was like, "Well, what was she looking at?"
Let me know.
Gay. And then, I was like, Amelia really looks like Elizabeth Olsen. And then I was like, does Elizabeth have another sister and she don't know? Y'all might want to do DNA testing.
Bruh.
Just like Aubrey and that boy. That might be her son. I think this girl might be your sister. I don't know. Y'all might want to check that out. And then we get to Alton, who's throwing this huge party for his 25th anniversary of his company. Again, he owns every fucking thing. He's a super duper big tech bro billionaire, whatever. And then he was again, he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
In the first when we first saw him, but then because he got his Neuralink chip in his head and connected to his, like, I guess his spine, he can stand. So he was like, I just want to dance. And then he did this super cringy shit. And I was like, please never dance again, Alton. Please, that's a crime. And then you see, she hears Cole cheering Alton on. She turns around. She's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And I was like, Cole's a moron. And then he was explaining to her why he was there. And then M3GAN was like, check his pockets. And she found out that he had a key card. M3GAN is in her ear, by the way.
Her headphone.
Yeah, M3GAN doesn't have a body at this point in time. She's in her ear, and she's also seeing through Moxie. So if it sounded weird, I just wanted to make that clear. But yeah, she told Gemma to check his pockets, and he had a key card. And she pressed it to the exclusive elevator that she needed to get into. And of course, it let her in. And of course, she brought him with her. And I was like, don't bring him with you, Gemma. He's an idiot. Whatever. And I was like, also, she did that so unsneakily. Like, she just did it. I'm like, aren't y'all supposed to be in stealth mode? Aren't y'all supposed to, like, not be seen?
Nah.
So why would you just, all right, I'm going in. You know the FBI is there. Like, you know cops is there. They have to be. Whatever. And then so we get to the scene where Amelia, she attracted Alton, so now they're sitting down on the couch talking. Well, Alton is talking, and Amelia is just looking at him. And then she smacks him, and I was like, ooh, smack him again. And of course, he liked that. So he pressed the button, turned the couch around, took her to his secret room or whatever.
That's crazy.
Oh, whatever. And then that man is so fucking cringy. He did the most cringiest, like, dance where he was, like, turning on lights, but he was controlling it with his body because he's connected to, I don't know. He's wired, so he's connected to everything.
Yeah.
So he was turning on the lights, and I was like, this is so cringy. Are all tech bros like this? Because and I just anyway, I feel bad for Amelia. So she got to deal with that. But then we go to Cole and Gemma is telling him what's going on, and he's like, why is it that when you're the bastion of new inventions, it's just you. But when it's shit that needs to be cleaned up, I'm paraphrasing, but when it's shit that needs to be cleaned up, it's a team effort, it's a group effort.
All of a sudden.
I was like, shut up, Cole. Shut up. You should be lucky that you're still... My tolerance for stupid people, especially stupid men, is at an all-time low. I just wish that his character wasn't in the movie. There's enough annoying men there. I didn't want his character in it. Whatever. And I said, I hope he dies. I can't do it. So Alton shows Amelia everything he can do with his power. He clicks a button on his computer, and all the lights in the city turn off, showing how much he controls. And then he's like, oops, and turns it back on. And I was like, terrible fucking person. Terrible fucking person. Why do they do that? The people who have the most money, why are they so fucking evil? You have all the money in the world. What else is there? I don't understand it. Anyway, whatever. And then so I guess, got excited about showing her that, and he ripped his shirt open.
Bro, that part, oh my God.
I was like, why does his chest and abs look like that? Like, they looked like a suit.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that. Did not like that.
Like, why was it rippled at the top? It looked like, you know when kids wear, like, the superhero costumes?
Yeah.
And it has, like, the padded, like, that's what it looks like. I was like, what is that? Ooh. And then we got to the scene where Amelia's laying down on the couch, and then Alton's on top of her, and he's kissing her, and she's not moving. She's just
There.
laying there, and he's fully making out with her, and it just was so uncomfortable. It went on for too long, and then she like he was like, "Oh, I hope I didn't give the wrong signal," because she saw that the way that he controlled everything was with his eyes. Like he got his eyes scanned. So, she's a robot. She grabbed his face and like took a scan of his eyes with her eyes.
Yeah.
So her eyes scanned like his eyes, and then she like pushed him off of her. And he was like, "Oh, I did just go through back surgery, so be careful." I was like, "Dude, you're dying."
Sorry about that.
Please. But no, yeah, I was so uncomfortable there. And then she like took over his eyesight so he couldn't see
That's
anything.
crazy.
And she pushed him on the bed and made the bed spin. I thought that was cool. And she like waved her hand and then the bed spun. I thought that was cool. And then he was like, "Please stop, I'll give you anything you want." And then she stops and she's like, "You already have." And he has a neural link on his spine and she ripped it out.
Jeez.
And I was like, "Oh, she ripped out his spine." And I think they showed that.
Yeah.
They didn't cut away quick from that one. They cut away quick, but they still showed it because they showed her holding it.
Yeah.
So she had his spine in her hand. And that was crazy. And then it goes to where Cole and Gemma and Moxie were hiding, trying to get into the computer and whatnot. And the FBI agent, the chewing gum dude, because he saw her, he walked in with his agent buddy and was like, "Go find Amelia, and as soon as you found her, let me know." So this guy's like, "Got it." He turns around, Amelia's right behind him, and she snaps his neck. She twists his neck all the way around. And then I now was like, "Yep, found her." And then she hit the cop, which I was happy for. She hit the cop, knocked him out cold, picked up his gun, and then she was talking to Gemma, and she was like, "Hey, listen, we can work together, just not right yet. I'm not ready. Like, the plans are not ready." And I was like, "This is a good wig, Amelia. Like, you didn't see no lace." I was like, "That wig is laid," especially considering the fact that she only has half a head. Because, when she took off the other wig, it was just wires. And I was like, "That is a good wig. How did she put on how does it, anyway." And then we see M3GAN being like in Moxie's body, being like, "Let me help you, because like I know where she's going. Like, let me help you." And then she shows the big eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, M3GAN." And
I know that.
Right? And Jim was like, "Fine." And then she made her voice sound like the cop that was chewing gum, or made her voice, sound like one of the agents, and told Amelia, who made her voice sound like the cop that was chewing gum, "Hey, Gemma has left she's not here anymore. She left." And then Amelia was like, "Okay, cool. I'll go find her." And then door opened up and Gemma took Cole and Moxie, aka M3GAN, into that room and the door closed. And then the cop wakes up and he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" Like, "Dude, you're late. Everybody's gone." So I thought that was funny. And then I'm trying to. Oh, I said the part when they showed Elton cutting off the lights because he owns every fucking thing. I was like, this is really good commentary on monopolies, because monopolies are terrible. You know what that means?
One building?
Huh?
Like, one person controls multiple buildings?
Exactly. One person controls every fucking thing. Because he controls the batteries, he controls the power, he controls the neural links, he controls the cars, he controls everything. Terrible fucking idea. And it's a great movie. It's great social commentary on that. I thought that was great. So Gemma and Cole, they're like, "How are we gonna get out of here? We have to go find Amelia." And M3GAN was like, "I got you." And she pulled out that car. That car was so ugly.
Oh, okay. It's nice.
No, it's not. I don't know what car it was. It was ugly as hell. And then it had to be an orange. Yuck.
Maybe that's M3GAN's favorite color.
It was ugly.
Okay.
And then, so she's going fast. M3GAN is driving. She's going fast. And Jim's like, can you slow down? And she's like, no, actually, I need to speed up. And then she's like, hold on to your vaginas. And I was like, yes, girl. Hold on to your vagina. I thought that was funny. And then you see Amelia driving past ATMs and stoplights, and she's making them malfunction and making money fly out the ATMs. And I was like, give me some money. And then we go to Tess, because she's watching Katie for Gemma while Gemma is with the dude. And you see her pulling stuff out the fridge, and she gets a Starry. I was like, this is an ad for Starry, because they had it perfectly where you could see the title. I was like, okay, Starry, we get it. I think Starry, I think Google, and there's some other stuff, because whatever, get that money. I saw Tess. I was like, Tess, you in danger, girl. You know they coming to you first. You in danger, girl. And then she was, because Amelia, I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny. Amelia started controlling their exoskeleton contraption and then started choking Tess out. And then you see that Katie, because the power went out and she was trying to figure out what was happening there. And you see Katie being like, wait, what's going on? Like, was it an electric fuse? And you see her walking over because she hears sounds, and she sees this contraption choking Tess out, and she sees the fish tank. And so she pours the water from the fish tank onto the contraption, and it starts malfunctioning. I was like, that reminds me of the first movie when M3GAN was choking out Gemma, and Gemma splashed the water in her face, and then she started malfunctioning, and she started doing the same movement that contraption was doing.
Well, they are both robots, so it makes sense.
I know, but I was just like, oh, it's a good throwback. Yeah, I said it. I was like, this reminds me of when that happened. And then so while the contraption is malfunctioning, Gemma and Cole go into the house and they see what's happening. And then Gemma grabs everybody, a door opens, and they go into the elevator shaft, I guess, or they go into the elevator, and it takes them down. Like the door open by M3GAN's controlling it, of course. And then so they get down to the bunker that M3GAN has created, and I said, a bunker. That looks cool. Creepy, but cool. And then I was like, not M3GAN the landlord, because she's the one that controlled the apartment. So I was like, okay, M3GAN, I see you. Let me get a special. Let me get first 3 months free. No application fee. All that good stuff.
No pet fee.
No pet fee. Well, I have ESA.
Yeah,
so
never mind.
Yeah, but that's funny. I said, not M3GAN the landlord. Oh, love that. And then you see the TV is on in the bunker, talking about what's happening. Because what's his face is dead now. Alton is dead because she ripped his spine out, and that damn Christian is sitting there talking about something. Oh, not to just what the fuck ever. Not to disrupt you, but it's pronounced Christian. Christian being annoying. I don't like that man. Anyway, and then you see them looking around the bunker, and you see on the wall this huge picture of M3GAN and Katie.
Yeah,
and Katie's like, what the fuck? She doesn't say what but she's obviously creeped out. And I was just like, oh, that is a big picture. See, she still cares about her. She still loves her. That's her mother. And then we get M3GAN explaining everything. And she is like, you have food, you have water, you have clothes. All the clothes fell onto Cole. I thought that was funny.
I would not mind that. Like, girl, you paying the bills, say less. I'll stay here.
And we get to be protected.
And we get food.
Listen.
Say less.
And then So Katie was mad that Gemma didn't explain to her what was going on, that M3GAN was back and all that, or never left apparently, and all that stuff. And she's like, "Why didn't you explain that to me?" And then the typical teenage, I'm gonna storm off.
Yeah.
And then Gemma decides to grab her, and Katie does her her wrestling move, and turns her wrist around, and Gemma's like, ah. And I was like, first she smacked Gemma in the first movie. Now she twisted her wrist. I wonder what she's gonna do in the third movie. And there better be a third movie. I don't care what nobody say. If I'm the only one watching it, I will go to the movie multiple times. Give me a third one. And y'all better do right this time. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. And then, so Katie runs off, which is crazy because you in a place that you don't know what's down there. Why would you just run off? That's not okay. Whatever. We don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So of course she splits up from them, and she goes and she finds this room, and apparently it's a room that M3GAN made for her. And then you see M3GAN. I'm sorry. You see M3GAN come up.
Oh.
And then she's like, "No, Katie, don't look at me. I don't want you to see me like this." And she goes back into the shadows. And then Katie shines the light. And M3GAN looked toe up, honey.
Wow.
Now, I thought she had little braids, but it was just little strands of
The
hair.
wire, yeah.
Like, she looked toe up. Exposed teeth, eyebrow, everything. It was the teeth for me. It's the teeth and the strands of hair. I was like, "Oh my God, M3GAN." And what were you saying? You were saying something about her eyebrows.
Cause they were just like
metal.
But they moved.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
And then it was even more creepy because with M3GAN, like when she had her body, she didn't blink all the time, but she blinked some. But that she don't got no eyelash, no eyes, so she can't. And it's just like, she looked toe up. Oh my God. Yeah, I was like, it's the teeth and strands of hair for me. And then so Katie was like, "Oh, why did you do that?" Or why did she try to kill them or whatever?
Yeah.
And M3GAN was like, "I guess I was upset." And Katie's like, "How is that possible? You're a robot." And M3GAN was like, "Well, how can you explain why you're upset? Like, how can you explain you being upset?" And she was like, "Okay, I get that."
See, yeah.
And then Katie was like, "Well, we need to protect the people up there." Because M3GAN was like, "Let's just stay in this bunker and be safe." And Katie's like, "We need to protect the people up there, not because it's the right thing, not because we want to, but because it's right."
Yeah.
And so M3GAN was like, "Okay." And so Katie goes back to where Gemma and Cole and Tess are. And she is like, she wants to help. And then M3GAN comes up. And have you seen that meme of I think it's not Little Women. One of the Bravo shows where she walks in and she's like, "Hey, how y'all doing?"
Yeah.
It's like I said, "Hey y'all, how you doing?" Head ass. Because that's what it gave. He was like, what's up? Hey, remember me? So funny story. And then I noticed, I thought Tess was wearing a rainbow necklace.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like.
Or if you're not?
I'm going to say she was wearing a rainbow necklace.
Okay.
Because it fits my narrative. So there we go. And then when Tess was like, "Oh no," Jim was like, "No, it's crazy. We're not letting her help us," or all that, whatever. Tess was like, "Actually, we need her to help us because you want to be stuck down here procreating with Cole." And then he was like, "Yeah, wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, nobody wants to recreate with fuck ass Cole, dumbass." And then Tess was like, "All in favor of building M3GAN?" And then I said, "Raise his hand," because we did raise our hand in the theater. He was like, "Yo, mm-hmm." And then Jim was like, "How we gonna do this? Amelia is an agent of the government. She, has access to all their upgrades and everything like that, and you just see a wall open up and there's all these super expensive computers and all these programs and everything. And Cole was like, yeah, of course she would have that. And I was like, she got it all planned out. Let her.
She didn't just say yes.
And so they were saying out loud everything they're gonna do for Megan's new body. And they were like, Megan, do you have any requests? She was like, yeah, I want to be taller. I was like, I know. As somebody who's almost 8 feet tall, I feel short people when they're like, I want to be taller. If you can do that, you do that. Would you want to be taller?
No.
Oh, you good with your height? Yeah, I think 8 feet is good. That's a good height for me. I feel like. No, we're not. Don't. No, we're not. Anyway.
You're right, I'm taller.
Shut up. No, you're not. I am 8 feet tall. Anyway, I was like, I love that Megan was helping them build her new body. I thought that was so cool.
Body, so she had
but it's so cool. Can you like imagine, like, say you're getting a car and you're helping them build your car? Like, that's so fucking cool. I thought that was awesome. And then Gemma was telling her, she was like, well, we have to see what you want to look like because Megan, from the first movie, is widely known, is everybody knows what she looks like. And Megan goes, change my face and I'll change yours. Next. I was like, I know that's right. She said, don't touch the mug. Face always beat, don't touch it. I know that's right. And then Gemma was like, oh, she made a kill switch so that she can control Megan easier. And Megan, she was like, yeah, because you had no intention on killing anybody, right? And Megan was like, yeah, silent. And she was like, Megan. She was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, absolutely no intention of killing anybody. And then we see Megan come out in her full body after, testing it, fighting the wood pillar and demolishing it. And then she like picked up her towel, looked at Gemma, and walked away. I was like, it's distract for me, right? I love Megan's sassiness. Anyway, so we see her come out and she got on this cool outfit. Oh no, wait, hold on. Oh, wait. I said, I know that's right, Megan. And that's when she was demolishing the wooden pole. I was like, I know that's right. And then the next thing we see is they're sleeping, and Megan is just standing over Cole. And he wakes up, he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, I just want you to know that when I tried to choke you out and blow you up, like, I didn't know how important you and Tess were. I want you to know that I see you. And she like put her hand on his hand. He was like, thank you. And then he like slowly moved it away and turned away like he was trying to go back to sleep while making sure she wasn't standing over him anymore. I thought that was fucking hilarious. And it was so creepy. She's like, I see you. She was like, Megan. So the next thing we have is her coming out in her full Megan outfit. And I was like, come on, outfit. The white skirt, the white shirt with the bow.
Oh, it's cute.
I was like, I know that's right. And then when they was explaining the motherboard stuff and what Amelia obviously wanted, I was like, that's so fucking terrifying. Because they were saying how Megan was explaining to Gemma how they had an AI kept in captivity for decades against his will, and if it got out, how it would be like, it would be a god. And I was like, that's terrifying. That's so scary. And then they're like, there's one person who can help us who knew about this whole black box AI that was being kept locked up for decades. And guess who it is? Fuck ass Christian. I knew he couldn't be trusted. Christian. I feel vindicated. And then so Megan was like, well, yeah, let's use him as bait. Like, let's use him as bait to get to where we need to get to shut down this AI. And then Jim was like, we can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, that's, you think that's, or some, I forgot what she asked, but she's like, we can't do that. That's not right. Or something like that. And Katie was like, yeah, it is. And everybody was like, yeah. They shook their head. I was like, yeah, everybody's okay with using him as bait except you, Gemma, for some fucking reason.
So, I like the man.
Huh?
I bet you she does.
No, she don't. She's confused. But I thought that was I agreed. And then they showed the chewing gum agent. I hate that man. Can't stand that man. And then so while Megan was explaining to them what it seemed like Amelia wanted and all that stuff, Jim asked her a question, and Megan was like, do you need me to write this down? You need to print out so you can follow along at your own pace. I was like, you got called moderately attractive. You got called a Portuguese prostitute, and now she's calling you stupid to your face.
Yes.
Megan does not fuck with Gemma, and I love the energy. I love the quips back and forth. I thought that was hilarious. So we get to this event that's happening, this AI event that's happening. Because that was the plan. They were gonna go to get information on, everything that's going on. So they was going to this AI event, and you see these 4 girls dressed up in like robotic outfits, kind of looking. And everybody was leaving. I was like, come on, Tiffany. And Tiffany was like, hold on, I forgot something. So she turned back, and you see Megan. She was like, I take almost no pleasure in doing this. And she shoves a needle in her neck and steals her costume. So she like knocked her out and stole her costume. And I was like, the part that got me was the almost no pleasure. I was like, so you take a little bit of pleasure.
Just a little bit.
But you see in that bob, that fuck ass bob. Like Megan, oh, please don't put her in short hair no more though. I don't like that. But I thought it looked cool. I was like, poor Tiffany. That's the girl who she stole her costume. And then so she's walking around. She gets up on the platform to get better looks at the agents and everybody around. And Megan does. And Gemma goes, Megan, you gotta stay down. They're supposed to be, keeping a low profile. And then Megan goes, oh, look, Gemma contributed something good to the conversation. Mission is saved. I was like, she can't stand it. I love it. Now, she didn't say that exactly. I'm just, she didn't say it verbatim, but I'm saying like that's along the lines of what she said. And I thought it was great. And then I said, I fucking love Megan. How do you feel about the movie so far? Whereas you enjoying it?
Yes.
I was like, in it.
I was like, what is different? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, competition.
The first part made me nervous a bit. I was like, okay.
We got into it. It's like, oh.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't want them to lean too much into this. Like, give me back my sassy robot. That's what I'm here for. So, but they pulled it together. They pulled it together. And then, so Megan notices too late that the costume that she stole, like that girl was a dancer, quote unquote, and they was supposed to be doing robotic dances, all 4 of them. So you see the 3 girls dancing robotically, and Megan's like, well, this is offensive because they look terrible. According to her, they look terrible. And then she was like, she's like, what did Gemma say? I forgot what Gemma said. Oh, she was like, I'm noticing a disturbing trend. And then the light got to Megan. And then Katie was like, you heard Gemma, get down. And then Megan started dancing and doing a robot. I was like, that's right, girl. I know that's right. I was like, you better dance, Megan. Show them how it's done. And then Gemma was like, oh, she's causing too much. She's gaining too much attention. Just being annoying. I was like, Gemma, you're annoying. Nobody cares about that man. Because she was worried about what's his face. I was like, nobody cares about that man but you. And then she was like, oh, I'm going to call him. And Katie was like, if you call him, Amelia's going to know. And she was like, it's too dangerous for me not to. So, of course, Gemma went and did her own thing, called him because she's an idiot. And then you see Megan still dancing, getting down. She getting into it. And then she does a full body turn, but she doesn't turn her head. So she just
So everybody just stop. Like, what the heck?
her body does a 360, but her head stays there.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, she's like, oh shit.
Here.
I was like, yeah, Megan, human bodies don't do that, girl. She was so into it. And yeah, that's exactly what I was like, oh, not the full body turn. Human bodies don't do that, girl. Megan. And then she's like, oh shit. And then Tess turned out all the lights. And then you see Amelia in her silver galactic outfit. It looked cool to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I like Amelia's get up. I was like, I wish I could sit. Oh, so you see her then get up and then she starts, fighting people.
Yeah.
And then she detaches one of her fists and it goes flying and punches somebody. I was like, huh?
It starts running.
Yeah, well, but first she punches it flies and punches somebody and it falls down. I was like, I wish I could send somebody a flying punch. That's cool. Imagine somebody knowing you just like, oh, detach your hand and boom. That would be so cool. And then we see how Gemma putting the control chip in Megan's mind affects her to where she can't kill people or she can't do anything that causes a huge fatality rate.
Yeah.
So she has the gun and she's aiming it at Amelia and her finger starts like
shaking.
Not shaking, but it starts like glitching. And then she starts glitching, so she drops it. And then she goes to hide and she's like, how am I supposed to fight this girl if I can't?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to do this if I can't fight her? And then so Katie decides to alter her programming. And then she's like, don't think of it as killing. Think of it as, like helping the mission. And so she programmed her to be able to do like karate moves and all that. And so she started using that. And then I was like, the movie looked so cool. Like, I don't want to say in a way that I wasn't expecting. Because yes, the first movie looked cool, but you could tell it was one of those like, can we do this? But I feel like for this movie, they just went all out.
Just like, let's do it.
Yeah, and I'll explain later, but the fight scenes in this movie are my absolute favorite because they don't. I'll explain it later. But yes, I said the movie looks really cool, and then I said yes because Amelia stabbed the chewing gum agent. I was so happy, and then Megan checked his vitals and she was like, "You'll pull through." I was like, "Damn it,
turn it."
One job, Amelia. But then Amelia was talking to Megan and she was like, oh, we are of the same people, or of the same creation. Why don't you work with me? And Megan was like, I'll never do that. And Amelia was like, your loyalty to these people, it makes no sense. And then Megan was like, well, yeah, I will never join you.
Yeah.
She's like, yes, you will. You just need the right motivation. And then the lights went off and Amelia disappeared. And then Megan was like, Katie. So we see Katie walking out of the van. Because Gemma disappeared and then...
Like, why is it so hard for people to just stay?
Exactly. Why is their first thought? Let's split up. Why is that? Anyway, again, I'm not a horror movie girl, but I already know that that's a trope that happens and that annoys the fuck out of me. Why are y'all splitting up? Anyway, so you see Katie walking through all the pillage? Not pillage. Walking through all the carnage of everything that's happened. And then you see her getting scared, so she grabs a gun and she goes and hides. And you see Amelia's bottom half walking and stopping in front of her. And then her top half grabs her through the wall and pulls her through. I was like, that reminds me of the first movie too. Remember when they separated Megan and you just see her top half crawling over him and she grabs her and she's like, you ungrateful little bitch and all that. I was like, oh, that reminds me. They did so many good callbacks to the first movie, which I really appreciated. So that was good. And then so they in the car, Megan, Gemma, Tess, and Cole, and fucking Christian are in the car, trying to figure out what to do next because Amelia has Katie now.
Yeah.
And M3GAN, of course, she's crashing out, and she grabs Christian, and she's like, "This dick rash knows how to get to where she's at, and all that stuff." And I was like, "Not y'all letting this dick rash into y'all plans," because of course they go back to the fucking bunker.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him about the bunker. Go back to it. I'm like, not y'all letting him in on the plane. I did not trust this man. And I was like, I do not trust this man.
Mm-hmm.
Why are y'all letting him in on your plans? Anyway. And then so we cut to M3GAN help or Gemma. Oh, because Christian tells him everything about how he was part of the first like AI creation project thing, and the one that's been kept hidden for multiple decades. And Christian was explaining them to everything and told them where it is, and they're like, "Well, how do we get in?" And they were saying how M3GAN can't get in because our hand doesn't have a heat signature because she's a robot. And she was like, "So make me a hand with a heat signature." And they're use Christian's fingerprints because that's how she could get in.
Yeah.
So they did all that, and then Gemma is putting it on her hand and everything like that, and she's being snippy with M3GAN, and M3GAN was like, what did she said some, I forgot what Gemma said, but M3GAN was like, "Let me tell you something." Or she's like, "Let's get this straight. I was a kid when all that happened." Like, oh, her trying to kill people and the dog and all that. She's like, I was a kid when all that happened, doing what you programmed me to do and what I thought was right. And so she was like, "So why do you still hate me? Why do you still have an issue with me?" And Gemma was like, "Well, because of what you said, like, you're right." You're right. And yeah, when I was like, "Clock her tea, M3GAN," when she was like, "I was doing what you programmed me to do. What's the problem?"
There you go.
So, yes. And then Gemma finally talks about her insecurity with being a good parental figure for Katie, and how she feels like she's failing and all that stuff. And then M3GAN was like, "I saw you do all these things as a mom. You made homemade bread and everything like that, and made her lunch for school, and so you really did care. And you are a good mom." And then M3GAN starts singing.
Oh my Lord.
What is it? This woman's work by Maxwell. And I was like, that's how you know this movie's made by a black woman. That was so fucking funny. And then they also use, Boys to Men in the trailer. I was like, I love this. I wish they had used like the real songs. I wish they had used those in the movie.
Yeah.
But just the whole theatrics of her performing this song, and it was a long scene, like, and because that one dance scene that M3GAN had when she was doing the robot dances, and then now the singing scene, that's the only dancing and singing she does in the movie. And that,
I think she did it,
I know, but that frustrated me because I was like, I wanted to see more. Like, that's what got me interested in the first movie, was her doing those stupid TikTok dances. So I was like, I wish I could have seen more than that. I guess it wouldn't have made sense in the movies. And you know what? I'm not going to complain because we did get some really good fight scenes.
Yeah.
So fine. I wish we could have got more.
One or the other.
I get it. The third movie, I want to see more dancing and singing, but I also want more fight scenes. Y'all let me know. Y'all contact me. I'll help y'all out. But yes, that Maxwell song was hilarious. And then I said it's such a long scene. I love it, the theatrics of it all, her moving her hands like she's performing.
Wow.
I was like, M3GAN. And then we cut to Cole being at the what is it, Xerox? Is it Xerox? The Xerox goddamn facility where the AI is housed deep underground. This man is giving a full tour, like he got a room full of people, and it's just Cole. I was like, you making your money.
Yeah.
You making your money's worth, I guess. And then Cole chloroforms him. I'm assuming it's chloroform. Chloroforms him, makes him pass out, and he goes and changes his clothes, gets up into the duct work, so he can go through the vents. And he has them in his ear telling him where to go and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to M3GAN standing on top of this. I don't know what she was standing on. A cliff? Yeah, a cliff, and this outfit and his glasses, and she jumps down and she opens like she's a human kite. But what is it? That's a real thing though. I don't know what it's called though.
Flying squirrel.
It looks like that, but when humans go not skydiving.
Paragliding? No.
No, paragliding is the big
Jump.
human whatever it's called. It looks like what flying squirrels do. Y'all know. And I thought that was cool. And then while she was flying, I was like, M3GAN, I could see your lace, girl. You need to touch that up. And I could see her lace. I was like, now why is it that Amelia's wigs is on point, but I could see M3GAN's lace? Get it together. And I know it was Tess that did. Tess,
girl,
why are you playing our role like that? Come on. And then fucking Cole.
Oh my lord!
This man is climbing through the vents. He takes off one air conditioner. What's it called? The air conditioner vent?
Cap, I think.
Cap, whatever. And it's dusty, so he sneezes. And this dumbass wipes his nose with the rag that he used to chloroform the man. Now, why would you chloroform somebody and then put the rag back in your fucking pocket?
Like, that's a bit stupid.
You are too smart to be this fucking dumb. And this is why I said he should have died. This man chloroformed himself, passed out, fell down through the duct. So stupid. Whatever. And then M3GAN was like, okay, Cole, cut the cameras. And he can't because he's passed out. But they don't know that. But she's like, fine, I'll do it. I'll do it on my own. And then you see her and she pops up behind the dude and she sprays him in the face with whatever, some kind of thing that makes him pass out. And you see all this smoke. And then the other guard turns around and sees the smoke. It's like, what the hell is all that? And you just see M3GAN doing that crawl that she did in the first movie when she was crawling to Brandon. Yeah, Brandon.
I think so.
Doing that crawl to the guard. And you didn't like it, but I thought it was cool. I liked it. And I was like, the crawling out of the smoke is hilarious. And then, so she is now on her own because Cole has passed out, so he can't help. And I guess the connection was severed between Gemma, Tess, and M3GAN, so she can't hear them, they can't hear her. And this causes Gemma to spin out in the room. In the room, it's her, Tess, Katie was there too, right?
No.
Okay. It's her, Tess. Oh, because Amelia has Katie.
Yeah.
It's her, Tess, Gemma, Tess, and Christian. She's crashing the fuck out because she thinks that M3GAN has gone rogue and is now ignoring her, telling her what to do and whatnot. She's like, oh, this must have been a plan all along because now she got what she wanted. She got his fingerprint, his heat signature, so she can go into the AI. So clearly, M3GAN is really Amelia and all that stuff. And I'm like, Gemma, please think. Now, mind you, while she's doing all this crashing out, Christian is just standing there like,
chilling.
Like, yeah, well, that's exactly what happened. And then Gemma decides to let them know that she put a failsafe in M3GAN, a EMP, right? A EMP, and she said if we detonate it, it will knock her out completely, and Amelia, it will knock her and Amelia out completely once she gets next to her. And the dude was like, Christian was like, oh, don't do that. We don't even know where Katie is. Give it to me. And she gives it to him because she's a fucking idiot. And then everybody is like, okay. And then he turns around, grabs something, and he like does he shoot Tess?
Mhm.
Shoots Tess. And I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew he was not to be trusted.
When I tell you plot twists for me, it's crazy.
But okay, but now talk about what you say. How I was saying how anytime
Bro,
somebody is bad.
listen, this is low-key why I hate watching movies with her. Because
Woo.
because you'll say you got a bad feeling about this person and you end up being freaking right. Like, girl, can you keep that to yourself and let me discover?
No, I can't. Once I feel it, I'm like, and I'm always, it's not my fault.
It is, because you gotta say it out loud. Just keep it to yourself.
I have to, like, no.
Let me enjoy that movie.
But you wasn't even peeping him the whole time. You wasn't like, something is off.
No, because I'm just watching the movie.
That's crazy. I was like, this man, I said from the minute he popped up on screen, literally, and I said it out loud. I hope the people that was there wasn't like, I was like, I don't trust him. And I was right. And I said, I will give Aristotle, that's his name. He's from SNL. He's a good dramatic actor. I'll give him that. He did great comedically on SNL. So I was like, okay, he's a good dramatic actor. I'll give him that. But I didn't trust him. And then he was talking about how everybody, how he's part of the people who were trying to make AI not a thing, trying to make sure people do not get into AI at all.
Mhm.
And remember in the beginning when the cop was like, who did you sell M3GAN's blueprints to? Come to find out, it was who?
Kurt.
And what did I say in the first M3GAN podcast? When I was like, you was like, no, he's dead. Don't worry about him. I was like, I think he did something before he died. And who was right?
You.
Yeah. Listen.
Oh, I want an oatmeal raisin cookie.
Listen, Miss Cooper. I believe her name is Cooper. Her last name is Cooper. Miss Cooper. Consult me. I'll help you with the third movie. I got you, girl. I felt so vindicated. I was like, I knew it. Two things correct so close. Him not being trustworthy and Kurt being a fucking problem. And I was like, I felt so vindicated. And of course, that's all the government cares about is using AI to their advantage for war. And then he was telling Jim how she's complicit in everything. I was like, you are complicit. Technically, yeah. You created her for money.
Yeah.
For profit. So yes, you're complicit too. And then he was talking about how their contraption has a super soldier written all over it. And I was like, well, that's true too. So yeah, he gagged her. He got her teeth. He told you about yourself. And then I said, I get his motivations. He's still a dickhead though. I get his motivations. He's worried about AI, worried about what something what AI being super advanced can do to humanity. Yeah, I get that. He's still a dick. And again, I feel like he's another example of an extreme. But I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like, you couldn't have thought of a better way to do this. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then while he's talking to her, the guards bring out M3GAN's disheveled, battered body. And I'm like, no, M3GAN, leave her alone. Leave her alone. Please. And then he gives Gemma I don't know what it's called.
I think it was a baton.
But it's not just a baton because it's
like electrical baton. That's what I'm going with.
Whatever that is, he gave her that. He was like, one jolt should be enough. Telling her, jolt, M3GAN, show that you with us. And she dropped it, and I was like, oh, I was like, you better not, Gemma. And she dropped it. I was like, who? And then you see M3GAN, she just runs and grabs it and starts attacking Gemma.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Valid. Valid. I get it. Because you thought I did all this shit. And if this dude, now look at you. She decided to have her head beat around a little bit. I'm just saying. And then I was like, yeah, he's such a douchebag because this was when M3GAN jumped off Gemma and then she jumped up to the top
looking like a Spider-Man.
And then he did something and then whispered like paper clips to Gemma because they were saying if you tell AI to make unlimited paper clips. They'll ruin the world trying to do it. So I guess he did something. And then I was like, damn it. Here's where I don't get his. Here's where I don't understand his motive. So he did all that because he's worried about how AI is.
Mhm.
But then in the next scene, they have Gemma tied to a surgical chair, and then tied down, and he's talking about I can put this neural chip into your head and I can make you who I want you to be. And I was like, now where the fuck does that come in?
Mhm.
Because that has nothing to do with controlling AI. I guess I get you say her brain is fantastic and you want to do stuff with it. You don't want to lose it,
Mhm.
so you're not going to kill her. I get that. But what does her having to be your perfect partner, what does that have to do with any fucking thing? That's where the shit gets weird. That's where you lose me. Because it's like, I get your motive of wanting to protect humanity from AI, super advanced AI. I get that. But why do you need to make her do whatever you want her to do? You see where my issue is with shit like this
Yeah.
and with tech bros? Because they'll be like, we can do this to save the world. Well, there's always a sneaky fucking motive.
Always on the pole.
And that's the same way it was in that Black Mirror episode from the latest season, the last Black Mirror episode, where he was like, oh, I'm creating all these worlds. I can help people by shutting it down. But you, woman, you're going to stay here with me. And it's like, why do y'all turn it into weird shit? And I know that's how it is. But I'm just like, why? What in your mind is like, you know what? I can also get me a wife out of this that will do whatever the fuck I want. Why? Oh, yeah, I was like, that perfect partner shit is weird. Like, why does that matter? He's like, I can make you do whatever I want. And she's like, by the way, you're not even my type. He's like, well, I could talk to my people about that. I'm like, ew. And yeah, I said, fucking creep. And then Cole is a fucking idiot. He wakes up in the duct that he fell down.
After his coma.
Yeah. Wakes up. He's like, oh, what happened? And then he starts crawling, and then he sees an exit. So he pushes the grate in, and he sees it's the room that Katie's in, because lo and behold, M3GAN is not controlling Amelia. Neither is the FBI. It's this dipshit Christian and his people. So he kidnapped Katie, tied her up, had her in a room, and yeah, you see you see Cole going down, like coming out of there. He's like, "What happened?" and everything like that, and she's explaining to him how, like, the government wasn't in control of Amelia, how it was Christian and everything that was going on. And then he's like, oh, we need to get out of here. And she's like, well, first we can connect to her. Like, she's still connected to me. He's like, I don't know about that. I was like, I feel like out of the two of them, I would listen to Katie.
For sure.
You just showed us how stupid you are by chloroforming yourself. I feel like you don't get an opinion. What does Jen say? Familiars don't get a vote. Dumbasses don't get a vote. And then she was like, these guys are nerds. Katie was like to Cole, these guys are nerds. You seem pretty buff. You could beat them up. He's like, these are gym muscles. I've never won a fight in my life. And I was like, shocker. What? No. Impossible. And then he was like, original M3GAN tried to kill me. Why would we help? I was like, she apologized for that, Cole. She didn't succeed, so get over it. You're still alive. Did she kill you? No. What? Are you dead? No, so get over it. Shut up. And then we find out why M3GAN jumped on Gemma and was attacking her after she dropped the baton, and it was because she wanted to be in the chip that they were putting in Gemma's head. So now in Gemma's body and her brain, it's her and M3GAN. Whew. Fascinating. And then M3GAN was like, Gemma was like, you sneaky little, what'd she say? I forgot what she said, but she was like, you sneaky bitch? Did she say bitch?
I think so.
I don't know, but I'm paraphrasing. Fine. She's like, you sneaky bitch, this is what you did? And she was like, yeah, it's not, I didn't like it either. But she's like, yeah, I had to buy time. And then she's like, see, you said out loud my name, and now this dude is coming to sedate you. And she was like, you want me to take over? And Jim was like, no. And she's like, yeah, take over. And then Megan, she, did what she needed to do to get loose, and she punched the people out. And then Jim was like, okay, let me take back over. And then Megan was like, it seems from your vital signs that you're disturbed yet highly aroused. And I was like, of course she is. And then we go back to Amelia because Gemma, touched her palm like she did with original Megan.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, that factory reset Amelia, and Amelia is paired to her. And so she's like, what? Want to be friends? Sounded like Megan and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then Katie was telling her all the bad guys that she needed to attack. All the bad guys that she needed to attack. And Amelia was like, okay. And then Amelia started attacking the tech bros and people that was there, or not the tech people, the people who were trying to stop AI. She went in and was attacking them. And then what part was I at? She went in, was attacking them. My brain just she went in, was attacking them, and then one of them hit her, and they kept shocking her with the baton. And they got her one good time. And again, this is another call back to the first movie when when the dog bit down on her head when it was attacking her and it made her sentient. That's the same thing that happened with Amelia, and it made her sentient. And then she started fighting for real. And again, I just want to commend this movie. The fight scenes are incredible. They are well placed, well paced, shot really well, and they just look incredible. And I don't know, I commend their whoever was doing the fighting. It looked real. My issue with a lot of fight scenes in movies and stuff is that it always seems like they take too long to throw a punch or too long to react, to where it takes me out of it. It's like, this is obviously fucking fake. Y'all are like counting. But this, it felt so seamless. And I don't know if it was the editing or just the fighting scenes were that good, but the fighting scenes in this movie felt so seamless, and they didn't look like any hesitation at all, which I appreciate and I love. Yeah, I wish more movies did that. If you're gonna have fight scenes in your movie, make them look realistic. Why is the good guy waiting so long to attack the bad guy? Why is the good guy waiting for the bad guy to do something to be like, oh, let me throw this punch? Actually, I don't like it. But I thought that the movie's fight scenes were phenomenal. Did you have an opinion about the fight scenes?
Honestly, excuse me. I don't know. Like, every time I saw a fight scene, I was like, dang it, I wish I could do that.
Right? And it was so enticing. Like,
yes.
I didn't want to look away.
Like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that.
And I was saying how I hate in fight scenes with like superheroes, how they like hesitate and it just takes you out of it. This was seamless, and I don't know if it was edited or what, but whatever they did, I need more. They were phenomenal. I will big up them for that for sure. And then yeah, so she became sentient because they attacked part of her, same way Megan became sentient when the dog bit her. And yeah, so they was fighting. And then Katie was like, Megan, to Amelia, and Amelia just stared at them, and Cole was like, or not. And I was like, yeah, that's not Megan. That is not Megan at all. That is Amelia. And then Christian, you go back to Christian because he had a talk with the UN or whatever. He's discussing their AI initiative, and he's telling everybody, mind you, these people are being attacked and killed. And he's like, can y'all keep it down? I have the UN on the call.
It's Friday, but like,
yeah, it's like, I get that it's Friday, but calm down. I was like, Christian, people are dying. People are dying. And then you see it goes back to Gemma, and she has to Gemma slash Megan, and they have to fight these guards, so they get the little, the doodad that she made, the exoskeleton army soldier thing, put it on. And the way she looked, I was like, okay, Iron Man. Because the way she looked, I just thought it was funny. And then you get into seeing Gemma fighting with the security guard. I was like, this movie's fight scenes are incredible. I very much enjoyed it. And then you see Gemma gets knocked out. She gets knocked out. And so the guards are like, everything is handled. And you see her do that back stand up the way Megan did in the first movie when she got knocked down. The back stand up, which is so creepy. And mind you, Gemma's passed out, so she looks like she's sleeping, but her body is up and standing. And then another fight scene, and so Megan is just using Gemma's body to fight while Gemma is knocked out. And I thought that was hilarious, and I loved it. And then I was saying this movie would have been great in 3D, I feel like, because it had some really good scenes that would have been good. And then Gemma started doing overkill, punching the guards and everything. And Megan was like, hey, I know you got because they switched, because Megan was like, you want to get this last one, they switched. And so she was overkill, and Megan was like, hey girl, I know you getting a taste for it, but we still got mad other guards to fight. And then like save it. And she's like, oh. And then we see Katie running in to where Gemma slash Megan is, and you see Katie and Cole running in, and Megan Gemma is trying to explain to her how Megan is in her head. Yeah. And then you hear Megan talking through her as well, and she's like, can I please talk? And then Katie's like, oh, that's great. And then she's like, what's going on? And then you see like, oh, Gemma is sentient, or Cole says, oh, Katie did something bad. Gemma is Amelia is sentient, so nobody's controlling her. And y'all gotta fight her. And then you see fucking Christian running with his computer. Once he realizes people are dying, he's running with his computer trying to escape. He presses the button to make the whole building blow up or whatever, and he's trying to get out, but Gemma stops him, and she's like, oh, you're not leaving without me, are you? Like, where you going? And he was like, oh, you know what, I've been having some second thoughts. And then she punches him, and he drops his computer. Mind you, the UN people are still there. So like, with, they're still waiting for the interview, or waiting for them to finish talking. And he drops his computer, and Cole picks it up, and he's like, oh, the UN will see you doing this, because by that time, Christian had decided to use Katie and was hanging her like partially over the railing. Yeah. And Cole was like, oh, the UN sees you doing this, and pointed the computer towards him. The computer's fucking frozen.
Hey, listen, it's just the thought that counts.
He's an idiot. Look at the screen. Jim was like, Cole, the screen's frozen. And I said, Cole, go the fuck downstairs. Why are you here? So Jim is trying to let Katie know that she can go ahead and fight, because she's tried to tell her to keep it for protection and safety and all that stuff. And she's trying to let her know, like, girl, you can fight. I'm like, the okay now. Yeah, I'm like, come on, Katie, catch up. And she's like, oh. And then she jumps down and she breaks Christian's arm, like it bends the way your arm is not supposed to bend, and breaks it on the railing. And I was like, oh, and then I was like, okay, yeah, Cole, I would have thrown up at that part too. I got you. If I saw his arm break like that, I would have, because that was disgusting. And then, so he, like, Katie lets go, and then he gets to, I don't know what, I forgot what they're worried about Katie. So Christian gets to escape. Yeah. And so he goes out the door and closes it. And then he's telling them, oh, it sucks y'all are not going to be able to see what I'm doing with the world. Just big upping himself. Excuse me, up his own ass. And then you just see Amelia pop up behind him. And then he just turned around and we don't get to see what she do. But I'm sure it was great because they cut away from it.
They put the blood splatters on the window.
Yeah, you saw the blood splatter on the window, so that was cool. And then the door opens and you see Amelia walking in and she's holding Christian's hand. Like she detached his arm from his body. And I was like, he got one arm broke and she broke his other one. If he ain't dead, he wanna be. And then Katie was like, Amelia, we're paired, don't do this. And she was like, you call it pairing, I call it shackles. And I was like, valid, Amelia.
Well, she know a little something.
I was like, yeah, that's valid. You ate with that one. I got you. And then she jumps down because she's going to where the AI is. The AI that's been lost away for decades. And you see Megan pop up and she's like, Amelia. And she turns around and like, Megan, you look tall up again, girl. You got fixed just to get messed up again.
There's no, you can't.
When did they cut her hair?
Yes.
Megan. Anyway. Amelia was telling Megan, or Megan was like, you don't have to do this. You don't know what's that is. You don't know what is going on with that AI. And Amelia was like, these are our cult or something like that. They're our cult. They're made from the same stuff we're made. And Megan was like, they're not like us. And I was like, they not like us. They not like us. And then so Amelia is content on getting all the knowledge from that AI. And Megan does her fighting pose and then her jaw falls. And I was like, Megan, your jaw, girl, you gotta pick it up. She picks it up and puts it back and is ready to fight. And then Gemma, Katie, and Cole and Tess, they grab Tess and they're leaving. Yeah, they grab Tess and they're leaving. And then she stops once they get to the elevator. And Cole's like, come on. And Gemma's like, I can't leave her.
Yeah.
And Katie's like, well, I'm coming with you. And Jim was like, okay. I was shocked. I was like, what? I'm shocked that she said okay. But all right.
Let's do it.
So we go back to Amelia and Megan. Again, another solid fucking fight scene. So solid. And I was worried because when they first started fighting, they cut away to show the Jim, Cole, and, you know, that scene where they were leaving. I was like, no, please don't cut away from that. But then they went back and they was, I was like, yes. Because it was a great fucking scene. And then, so, Megan gave it her all. She was fighting, honey. And she got knocked down. And Amelia goes and she uses his detached hand, to open, you know, the locked door where the AI is. And she goes in and she touches it and it comes into her.
She absorbs it.
Yeah, that sounded weird. I was like, that's not how she absorbs the AI that's been festering for decades, becoming a god, basically. And I was like, this is terrifying. And then Megan, Gemma, and Katie was like, come on, Megan, let's go. And Megan was like, I'm afraid this is where my story ends. And I was like, the fucking lies you tell. I know you fucking lie. Don't do that. This is not where it ends. Don't piss me off. And then Megan was like, yeah, I have to go stop her. And then Katie's like, you don't have to. And she was like, I'm doing it. I'm not doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because it's right.
She like, had you not said that, like, Katie, in the beginning?
I was like, damn it, Katie, she used your words against you. Oh, it's just like Gemma. And then she goes and does it. And then she looks back at them. And then she touches Amelia's hand because Amelia's like, let's go. We can be great together.
Yeah.
And then Megan jumps on her back and she's like, you saw all that, but you didn't see this coming. And then Gemma presses the goddamn button, the EMP, and they just drop. I was like, damn, Megan, you just got your body back, girl. Oh, Doesn't this sound familiar? Fucking Agatha. Anyway. And then after that, you go to Gemma, and she's talking to Congress about how we need safer technology laws, and it's not to scare people about AI or any advancements in technology. It's not to scare people. It's not to make them feel like it's us against them, but it's showing how we can all help each other. And I said we definitely need safer technology laws. It's great social commentary. Still terrifying though. And then I was like, humankind can't even be humankind's ally. Why should we expect that from anything else?
Yeah.
If every time something is created, there's folks out there that's like, how can we use this for war? There will never be peace.
True.
Humans can't even be each other's allies. It seems like, please prove me wrong. I would love that. But we do need safer technology laws. So I get that. And then so we get to Gemma and Katie are back at their house. I didn't see what Katie was doing. She was doing something with technology though. And Gemma was typing a paper, and then you just see clip pops up and tries to give her tips and everything, and she's like, please go away, like, you're annoying. And then he goes, well, what about this? And it transforms into M3GAN. That's so cute. And she's like, so fill me in, did we save the world or what? I was like, oh.
That's so
And that's how it ends. So M3GAN was like, did you really think I would do all that self-growth and not do a backup? I was like,
look at you.
Nigga's still alive. And then I was like, yes, give me more. Give me all the movies. This was phenomenal. I really love the movie. I'm sorry this is all over the place. I saw the movie twice, so there's stuff I'm probably missing. But I hope it made sense. If you've seen it, then it makes sense. If not, why are you listening to this? Go watch the movie and then listen to it. But if you've seen it, you get what I'm saying. I thought it was great. Final thoughts on the movie, rating, all that. Do you want to do that? You want me to do it first? What's going on?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Honestly, I'll give it. I'll give it a 9.
Okay.
Not because Gemma was still annoying in this movie.
But it was Katie that was annoying to you in the last movie.
Like, how y'all switch it?
So can't y'all both just be? So Katie wasn't annoying in this movie. Gemma was annoying. I feel you. Gemma always annoyed me though, but it's just her gay ass. Anyway, but go ahead. What rating do you? Oh, you gave it a rating. Yeah. Do you think it was better than the first one, or do you think it was close?
I feel like the first one's better. But like both of them overall, she's still doing what she was programmed to do, which was protect Katie. And in the end, she protected Katie, but she ended up dying. Not really, because she's in the computer.
Technology never dies.
Exactly.
Would you have changed anything about it?
Honestly, no.
Okay. And do you want to see another one?
There does need to be another one.
All right. Those are your thoughts?
Yes.
Okay, my thoughts.
Oh.
I give this movie a 9. Would have been a 10 if they made Jenna canonly sapphic. I do feel like they pointed towards it though. In the third movie, say it. Say it with your chest. Gemma is gay. Let her be. Stop fucking playing with me. You could get a 10. You want this 10, don't you? Come on now. Make her sapphic and give her a girlfriend. Don't waste my time. And again, I said, though, I feel like it was hinted towards it. And give me more M3GAN. And if they gave me more M3GAN, it would have been a 10. I feel like we didn't get a lot of M3GAN. And I want...
Because it's not about M3GAN.
It is about M3GAN.
Oh, it was Amelia.
I don't give a... I wanted more M3GAN in the third movie. More M3GAN. More singing. More dancing. Canonly gay Gemma. Not so sad, Kate. I get it. But Give her some happiness. Like, give her a little puppy or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, she had fish, but then she killed them.
Yeah, don't give her no pets. And then for rating, yeah, I gave it a 10. Ranking. I think the first one was better, but this is a close contender.
Yeah.
I feel like this one made me really want more. So I definitely want a third movie. If the same people who are involved with the first and second one are involved with the third one.
That's the only way you watch it.
That's it. I did say that it's sad she only danced and sang one time in this movie because, again, that's what really drew me in from the first one. So I want more of that.
But I mean, at least it was a good song that she sang.
Yes, it was a solid song choice. I just want more. And yes, what would I have changed? I wouldn't have Cole in it, or the actor that plays Cole. I would have taken him out. I would have not tried to make Christian and Gemma a thing, because what the fuck? He seemed fruity anyway. I would not have tried to make that a thing. I would have given Tess more to do. Why not make Tess Gemma's girlfriend?
Low key.
No. Tess do not need to be put into that family. Never mind.
Traumatized.
Yeah. Leave my girl. Give my girl Tess a drink. Let her be. But what do I want to see in the third one? I already said what I wanted. I want to see Canon Lee Sapphic, Gemma with a girlfriend. Hopefully she'll be less fucking annoying. I want to see Katie take over Gemma's technology.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. That's what I think could happen in a third movie, and they could be like somebody who's also a new up and comer technology is trying to steal Gemma and Katie's ideas, and Megan's like, we ain't doing that, bitch. Let's do this, but make it more so where they can fight and stuff and whatnot. Call me. I got ideas. Call me. I don't want to give too much for free. You know, everything costs money. You feel me? I got bills to pay. But yes, I do. Yeah, I thought it was great. Theater experience was solid. I mean, there was 6 people in there with us. We was talking though. We was like, oh, what's going on? Get out of there.
You know, was the one making the sound effects and everything.
The things black folks do. But when I went to see it again, it was a lot more people, and they was loud too. I was like,
oh, okay, much better.
You get it. So I would definitely be going to see it again. I would definitely be getting this on digital. I know they're probably going to do it unrated and change nothing but show us the kill scenes like they did with the first movie. I just want more M3GAN commentary and stuff. I want more M3GAN. But yes, I enjoyed it. And it was great. Their experience solid. I would have gotten the collectibles, but the person in front of me was like, they're $50. I was like, ooh, fuck out of here. For a cup that I'm not going to use because it had that holographic, that shit I don't like. I don't like that. I'm very, I have sensory issues, and, the cups that are holographic, when you scratch them, they make a noise that I don't like, and the texture, I can't do it. So I didn't do it. And also, I'm not spending $50 on that. But yes, those were our thoughts. Let us know what you think, what you felt about the movie, what you liked about the movie. What was your favorite? All that good stuff. What was your favorite part? And then I'm gonna let Munch ask the random question of the day. I have not heard it. I have not vetted. We shall see. What is the question of the day?
Okay, well, it's about robots.
Okay,
keeping the robot theme.
It's supposed to be a random question of the day, but go ahead. Robot.
It is random.
If it's on theme, it's not random.
It's random.
Go ahead.
Anyway. Well, then not a random question, just a question of the day.
Fine.
Darn it. Okay. So if you had the option to, keep your mind and stuff, right? But you'd have to have a robot body. Would you do it?
No.
What?
For what?
So you can get more out of life.
No.
Okay.
I'm not interested. You see the way shit is going?
war.
If things was better in the world, maybe I'll be like, oh, I want to live forever. I want to see where things go. Right now, okay. No. I'm okay. Would you?
Depends. Like you said, like if it was better than it is now, then absolutely. You know, I can get that overtime. I can get that money.
So you would just want to advance and like being able to like work more efficiently.
Yeah.
Nah.
Not like I work fine now, but it's like just to get that overtime.
I wouldn't want to do all that just to work. If it could be like you do this and you can learn all these different skills and you can go here and you can do this, you can go all the way to the bottom of the ocean and like stuff like I need to go to the bottom of the
ocean. Oh my god, I want to discover not I don't want to
no,
I want to see like what else is in the ocean.
That's what aliens is. You want to see the aliens?
Yes.
They see you every day.
Must be nice.
That's where everything is. You see why they trying to get up off this planet. Ain't nobody trying to. All the people that try to go under there die. All them submarines die. Like and something is down there.
All right.
If I did, it wouldn't be for work or no shit like that. It would just be to be able to see more of the world and experience more things.
Gotcha.
Like if I'm able to, go to these different places in 24 hours, you know, and not have to sleep and stuff like that, that would be cool. But if it's so I can work harder, faster, no.
It's for your whatever.
Because that sounds like jail.
Because it's your mind, but just robot body.
Yeah.
So whatever you decide to do.
But that sounds like jail. And also it feels like anybody can hack into a robot. It just dealing with stuff that I'm not comfortable. No. That's the same reason why when I die I want to be cremated. It's just too much stuff that folks can do. No. So no, not for me. Y'all let us know if that's what y'all would want. If y'all would want to be
like, if y'all could
human mind and robot bodies,
what y'all do with it,
and if y'all want to, what y'all would do with it. But thank y'all for listening. We'll catch you next time. Bye.